Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm reviewing LEGO Black Panther Wakanda Forever, set number 76214, Black Panther War on the Water. It's got 545 pieces, 5 minifigures, 4 of which are exclusive, and it retails for an insane $90 in the US. I honestly think that this is the most overpriced and bad for its value Marvel set that LEGO has released maybe ever. First up, we've got our new Black Panther minifigure. This is not T'Challa because he has been killed off in the MCU as a result of Chadwick Boseman's untimely passing in real life. So this is a brand new Black Panther suit. I think it looks amazing. I really like the design of this costume. We've seen it in the trailer. I really like the printing that LEGO's done here. I love the silver and gold especially, and the back of the suit just has some really nice printing. And the torso print is great as well. But you know what sucks here? No leg printing. This minifigure looks so unbelievably crappy without leg printing. This could have been a really awesome minifigure, but also the fact that the ears aren't printed, which LEGO has not done since 2016, and now no leg print. I've been saying on all of Shuri's minifigures in this wave, oh, how nice that it has leg printing. Every minifigure in these sets has leg printing until we get to this one, where there are 3 minifigures without leg printing, and they all look really bad without it. So yeah, I'm very disappointed that LEGO left this minifigure half finished, although it is consistent with T'Challa's figures, because he never got leg printing as Black Panther either, which is just so ridiculously stupid. Black Panther is a major Marvel superhero, whether it's T'Challa or whether it's Shuri, and I'm really irritated that this minifigure is so bad. And yes, this is Shuri's suit, because you can see that the mask has these little dots printed on her, and that's actually from Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. Here is the minifigure from the Shuri's lab set. You can see that she has the white face paint, and it matches up perfectly with the design on the mask of the new Black Panther. And as if that wasn't enough confirmation, LEGO did go ahead and include an unmasked head for her. So yeah, the new Black Panther is Shuri. No one is surprised. I don't know why they're trying to keep it such a secret. I really like this new hair mold that they made for her. The face print is okay, but you guys know I do not like this second smile. I think that she should have had a more fighting-worthy expression. But yeah, this is just a major miss from LEGO. I cannot believe that this minifigure is this bad, because this is probably the one minifigure LEGO should have done perfectly in these sets. Next up, we have Namor, the king of Talokan, an underwater civilization that is coming into conflict with Wakanda. I love this minifigure's design. I love the Mayan influences on the character in the movie, and the printing here with the necklace and the belt is just really awesome. I love his little Speedos. I think that they're really funny because they're printed with pearl gold and teal, which is really deluxe. He has pierced pointed ears, and I don't even know if this is a new mold for his head or not. I don't think it is. I think it's the same werewolf pointy ear one that LEGO's used in the past. But he does have those awesome wings printed on his ankles, because Namor is a mutant in the MCU. He's our second one after Miss Marvel, and I love that LEGO included his mutation by just printing it onto his ankles. But unfortunately, this minifigure is pretty inaccurate to the movie. The face looks like comic book Namor to me, but it looks nothing like Tenoch Huerta looks in the movie. He doesn't have his facial hair. I like that smirk, but he doesn't have his facial hair. He doesn't have his nose piercings, which would be difficult to represent in LEGO, but I think they could have done it because, they did the pierced ears. And so I really would have loved to see a more accurate Namor. I also hate his spear in this set. This is such a bad build compared to the, nice golden build that we got in his own set. That spear works perfectly for Okoye, though, because she does wield a vibranium spear that looks like that. And I really like the torso print on this minifigure, but much like the new Black Panther, she is severely let down by the lack of leg printing. It's just really bad. All of the other Black Panther Wakanda Forever minifigures look so good, and then you get to this set, and 3 of them look like crap. I like Okoye's face print, but again, I would have liked something a little bit sterner, because Okoye is a very deadpan serious character, so I would have preferred a fiercer expression than just this slight smile. And yeah, the leg printing, it's just really missing, because the Dora Milaje do have flaps that kind of go over their waists. It also would have been great to get other members of the Dora Milaje in this set, because again, 5 minifigures in a $90 set is very, very light, and I would have loved to get a NECA in her Midnight Angels costume, or even Io, who is like one of my favorite supporting characters in the MCU. Here's our very first M'Baku minifigure. He's also a very popular supporting character in the MCU, and this is his first minifigure. I'm really glad that LEGO did make M'Baku and Okoye, but yeah, I really would have liked to have seen Ramonda, Io, or Aneka in this set as well, because, again, it is $90 with only 5 minifigures. Love his face print. I think that that works. Again, I would have preferred something slightly more serious than a little smile, but I mean, M'Baku smiles more than Okoye at any rate. I like his little staff build. I love his torso print. He doesn't have leg printing, but I don't think that's the end of the world, because not every character can get leg printing, and I don't think he really needed it, whereas I think Black Panther and Okoye did need it. And then we come to, hands down, the best minifigure in the entire set. This is Ironheart Mark II. I guess this could be considered a slightly spoilery minifigure because it hasn't been revealed in any trailers, but it is in a lot of toys. I'm very surprised. When Riri Williams was announced for Black Panther 2, I didn't even think that she would suit up in the movie. And not only does she have her first suit in the movie, she also gets this really slick looking Mark II. So I kind of wish I had been surprised by that for the movie, but I mean, it was Disney's decision to put it in toys. And I think that this is, I was going to say one of the best minifigures from the Wakanda Forever sub-theme, but there are a lot of good figures, just not really in this set. But it just looks beautiful. LEGO does not cheap out on their Iron Man related minifigures whatsoever, because she does get a ton of leg printing. I love the design of all of this. I love like the metallic silver detailing. You guys know I don't like this Iron Man helmet because I prefer the opening one, but I think that this does work for Riri, because her suit is going to be very sleek. And she really reminds me of Rescue, because Rescue used the same helmet piece in LEGO for both of her suits. And with this little like wing attachment, it really just gives me Rescue vibes, because that's what Rescue's suit looked like in the MCU, and her LEGO minifigure had like pretty much like those exact same pieces on her back. So there is like this little backpack attachment. I would have liked to have seen some blue lights to be like repulsors, and I'm kind of surprised there are no stickers on this, because like Rescue's like backpack was pretty well detailed, but I guess Riri's is not. LEGO does include a hairpiece for her and a brand new face print. I love this little like frown, or I guess like angry expression, because again, I think that we need more of these kinds of expressions for female LEGO minifigures, and I just feel like it has a lot of personality. I love LEGO face prints with a lot of personality. She's using Monica Rambeau's hair from WandaVision, which is not accurate whatsoever. Riri has like much like sleeker, like braided hair in the movie. It's not this like big and puffy. But I get why LEGO used this piece, because she can actually be unmasked while wearing the backpack. I just took it off so that you guys could see the back printing. So I think it works and it looks good, even though it's not accurate. And then she does have an alternate face as well. There are 2 side builds in this set. These are little mini drones that are made to look like the Wakandan dragon flyers, which I think is just a great idea. These are a fantastic design. There's only 2 stickers on each one, and I think that they do add a lot of detail. And then they're using those Lord of the Rings Uruk-hai swords as the wing pieces, which I think looks fantastic. It really does look bug-like, and then each one has 2 of these. Whoops, I did not mean to break that off. But it's got 2 of these like little stud or tile shooters, and you guys know how those work, so I'm just going to clip that back on. And my belief is that these are actual full-sized dragon flyers in the movie, but LEGO's just kind of playing with the scale of the submarine here, which I think is quite evident once we take a closer look at the actual build. So here is the Wakandan submarine or boat, I guess. I don't really know what it is. I think it's called like the Royal Sea Leopard or something like that, but I'm not 100% sure. I think that this is a very interesting design, because it's basically just a black and gray box, which does not really fit with Wakandan vehicles to me. I will be doing a collection video once I build my Black Panther bust, but that'll probably be in like a couple of weeks, like closer to the release of the movie. So I'll show this next to Shuri's Sunbird, but like, where's the style? Like, Wakandan vehicles have a lot of style. They have like, you know, a little something special to them. Like, look at how unique the drones are. And then this thing, as someone like on Instagram said when it was revealed, it looks like an iron that's had its handle cut off. it's just not that interesting. That being said, I think it's a cool build. Like, I don't think it's a bad design. I think that it's interesting to have it kind of angle inwards like this. I like the curved versus like the like kind of slanted and jagged edges. But I just don't really understand why Lego didn't make something that looks more interesting. I also think that the build just hasn't been executed very well. I don't know how this looks in the movie because we've only seen like some images of like the Dora Milaje like running down the side of it to face the Talokan warriors. But for example, this gray peeking out here, that looks terrible. Like, how hard would it have been to make that piece dark gray instead? Because Lego makes it in dark gray. And then you would avoid like an unsightly color like that peeking through. You do have like some divots in here, so that makes it more interesting than it just being all completely smooth, but it doesn't do like that much. You do have a little like bridge up here, and that's why I think that this is actually micro scale, because I think in the actual movie, like, that'll be actually big enough for people to like go in and do stuff in. But again, this is a Wakandan vehicle. Wakanda deals in like the blues and the purples, like when it comes to transparency. Why is this transparent yellow? Like, I honestly think that this vehicle would look better if these pieces were just purple instead of yellow. Like, even like that much of a change, like that small of a change, I think would have made it look better. So that's kind of weird to me, especially because like these stud shooters up here have blue shots in them. So do the dragon flyers. The dragon flyers have blue windscreens, and yet this has a yellow windscreen. Again, maybe it's like that in the movie, so maybe it's not Lego's fault, but if it's like that in the movie, I still think it's odd. And then also up front, like the way the front of the ship is put on is just like really weird because it's slid into like these Technic axles, but there's nothing stopping it. So like you kind of just need to know that like, oh, you need to stop pushing it like once you get to this hinge brick, because otherwise, sorry, I broke off something on the inside. Because otherwise, like it's like it doesn't like fit in properly. It feels very, very weak and flimsy, and I don't like that. And then also, again, you can see dark gray peeking through there, which looks very bad. So yeah, not a very great build, but I do like the cover on the sides. I like the mix of studded and tiled off surfaces. We do have some engines back here that I think are an interesting build, and these are repulsor powered, I guess. It's not propellers, so I guess their little ship is just like skating along the ocean. These are blue, so again, why is the front yellow? And then you've got some places to store accessories here, except there's not really any accessories included in the set other than the stud shooter things. I didn't mention this with Riri, actually, because I forgot, but why didn't she get power blasts or something? Like, she's Ironheart. She should have repulsor blasts or like power bursts or like something representing the light that comes out of her hands instead of just like flying around accessoryless. So that's kind of lame because like these are really only able to be used as storage for stud shooters. I do like this little like build here though, like with the grill pieces and the window panes. That is probably like one of the better detailed areas of the build. The deck is open air, which is an interesting decision. I would have liked a roof and an interior on this thing, but we'll talk about that more in a second. We do have a bunch of tools on the side, like one of those tool packs that Lego gives, as well as 2 fire extinguishers, so I guess they're anticipating a lot of fires. And I really like all of the open deck space here because it's great for posing minifigures, but you can see a couple of jumpers, and that's because you can just fold all of these blades up, and then the dragon flyers will actually fit on the deck. If I can just like center them properly. There we go. So that's a great feature, and again, that's why this ship seems to be micro scale, and I think it's going to be a little bit of like an aircraft carrier in the movie, so I'm excited to see it. But those fit really well, and there's enough room to still have a minifigure. I almost grabbed Namor, but he would not be working on these. Like, there's enough room to have a minifigure, pick up the tools, and pretend to be working on there. Or, I mean, even Ironheart, you could pretend like she's working on her suit with all of those, so I think that that is a nice little section. Then, like I said before, we have stud shooters that can angle 360 degrees, so that's great, but I mean, they're just stud shooters, not really that exciting. We've got a couple walkie-talkies, so, or I mean, you could just remove those and then clip some other weapons there. You have a little, I guess this is supposed to be a seat, but there's not actually a seat there. So you can just have someone sit on the ground with a control panel that's like at foot level. That feels like a lazy design to me. I also don't like how the entire deck is light gray except for this one section that is dark bluish gray. I also think that that doesn't look good. But yeah, like put a chair there, Lego. Like, would it really have cost you that much to put a chair and like a 1x2 brick there so that that person doesn't need to be sitting on the ground poring over a computer screen? And then all the way up at the front, we do have like the main command section, I guess. So you have more stickered control panels, and then that control panel shows Namor's face on it, which I think is really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and take Okoye, and she can just sit right down there. But again, there's no like actual chair piece, which I think is weird. Like, people need a backrest, you know? People want a backrest. But you must be thinking like, oh, this is a sizable ship and it's just built using these wall panels, so there must be like some interior space, right? Well, there's some interior space because this is actually a trapdoor, as I'm sure you guys can see. So you can open up the trapdoor and you have a little tiled off section with some prison bars, because it's a prison cell that you can just throw Namor in, and then you can close it up and never see him again. And that is the entire interior. That is it. There's nothing else. In this $90, like, big, decent-sized boat, there is no other interior space. And it's so stupid because there's so much space that's just wasted inside this thing. Like, you build this little jail cell, like, you put, like, 3 of these, like, wall panel pieces, like, next to each other, and then you just put these ones on the outside. So there's a large section. There's, like, probably, like, there's that much interior space on either side that's just unused, and even more back here. And I have no idea why the designer didn't use it. Maybe they weren't given reference materials. Maybe they didn't know what's inside this ship besides a jail cell. But who cares? Lego makes shit up all the time for superhero sets. They easily could have given us some kind of interior. Here are the extra pieces for this set, mostly like leftover tools and then some tiles for the tile shooters. But I put the sticker sheet here because I want to illustrate how bad Lego's quality is getting. Look at how badly these stickers are cut. I've talked about this a couple times in other videos, but they are so off-center. So not only will Lego not print pieces, they'll give you stickers that are cut so off-center that they start messing up the prints. So that's just great. Like, this company is really just getting cheaper and cheaper by the day. This is Lego's $70 to $80 box size, and I think it's really funny that this set is called War on the Water when you've got drones and a boat and 4 Wakandans versus 1 little water guy. I just think that it looks really funny on the front of the box. And then at the back, it shows off all of the things that this set can do, which is basically nothing. Here is the instruction manual. At the back, you have nothing, not even an ad for the Infinity Saga sets like in the other sets, much less the Black Panther ones. So this set is a massive failure. For $90, this thing is an absolute joke and probably like one of the worst Marvel sets ever made. Nothing here is like truly terrible, but the price makes it terrible. And honestly, I'd say, well, actually, I can't even say the Black Panther minifigure is terrible because I like what printing it does have. It's just that it doesn't have enough. So I'm actually excited for Firestar Toys to hopefully make some custom printed legs and arms for it. But yeah, like, I just don't know what to say. Like, $90 for this. I thought $90 for the Iron Man Armory set was bad, but at least that had more exclusive minifigures and new molds. What does this have that makes it worth $90? The rumored price was $80, which would still be too high. I think that this would be a good $60 set, an okay $70 set, a bad $80 set, and it's a terrible $90 set. It's truly just baffling. I'm a big price per part ratio like person, so 545 pieces for $90 sucks. That being said, there are a ton of big pieces, much like the Shuri Sunbird set. So if this was $70 or if this was $60, it'd be fine. But $70, I could still understand. 80 and 90 is just out of the question. And again, what would make this a good $90 set is having a finished Black Panther minifigure, Okoye having leg printing, and give us a NECA in this set because I believe she's in this scene, and then give us a generic generic Talocan warrior. We have no generic warriors in any of these sets. Like, forget about the Wakandan side. Like, we only have 2 Talocans across the entire wave, Namor and his general. Where's his cousin, Namora? Where's a generic warrior? Like, this is not a war on the water. This is like a beatdown on the water because it's 4 Wakandans, a giant ship, and 2 flying drones against 1 man. So, yeah, I think that this is not a good set. I think that it's worth buying for the minifigures and like the parts, because I think that you can really build something cool out of these pieces if you don't want to keep the ship built. So I think it's still a worthy purchase if you can find it on sale. So I would advise doing that or just bricklink the minifigures because I have no idea what Lego was thinking with this set. So that's it for today. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and check out my website, goldenninja3000.com, and I will see you guys in more videos soon. Bye for now.